Gaurav Bhatia respond to these concerns? I was just running some calculations of the lower end of the range at 4.76 lakh rupees in the first year package. The typical Jawan will have a salary of about 57,000 rupees per month. Now that's a pretty decent salary given the fact that after serving 15 years, when a Jawan goes back home and if he's given some kind of a job, whether it's at the guard or in some company, it's typically much less than 57,000 rupees. Therefore, Ajay Shukla flags the concern, Gaurav Bhatia, that you'll have people in their mid-20s, 24 to 25, 26 years of age, who would be trained in the ways of the military, who would now be back in civil street, not necessarily find employment, and they could potentially fall prey to militias, that they're fully trained and they could just go wayward, and that could create a big societal problem. How do you respond to this concern, Gaurav?
Rahul, first of all, the nation is congratulating on such a visionary program that is being introduced by Shri Narendra Modi ji, and I'll tell you the reason. You know, there is a different thinking that is required, and we also one rank, one pension, a historical move implemented by Shri Narendra Modi ji. National War Memorial pending for decades. The monument was inaugurated by Narendra Modi ji, and now this Agnipath Yojana. I'll tell you why it's historic. First, look at the target age, 17.5 to 21. Now at 17.5, the youth who are disciplined and who have a dream and aspire to serve the country are getting a chance to be in the armed forces. Second, it would inculcate a sense of discipline in them. It will train them skillfully, even for future endeavors after the age of 21 in case they decide not to continue with this service. Third, 25%
respond, Gaurav, to the question that was asked.
Candidates.
No, once again, you're counting the advantages and we set them out in the first story that I ran at the top of the show. The concern is that yes, there are certain advantages, but you have the very real prospect of 75% of these Jawans going back to society. Many of them could find it difficult to find a job because they've already tasted salaries in excess of 55,000 rupees. And therefore, Ajay Shukla raises the concern about them possibly turning to private militias or doing something which isn't right legally.
No, on the contrary, I would very respectfully disagree with him. First of all, once you've served in the army and you've served the country, the chances are even when you are disassociated and you are looking for a job, the feeling of patriotism, the sense of living for the nation will always be there, the sense of discipline. And let's also not forget, in this scheme, there is an endeavor to harness benefits of Skill India program as well. So what would it do? 25% of the selected candidates would be considered for permanent appointment. Second, the remaining 75%, Rahul, are far better off because they are trained, they are disciplined, and yes, even the government will promote them with other schemes. So there is this no fear of they joining the unruly
Ajay Shukla, respond to the point that Gaurav Bhatia makes, because why assume that they will go wayward? Instead, once a Fauji, always a Fauji. After having been part of a regimented, disciplined life, chances are that that person will be better trained than he would have been otherwise. Unemployment is a problem in any case. It's not as if unemployment will go away just because of the scheme. Some of them may be unemployed, many of them will have employment. This will also, as they say in the NDA, that banda ban jata hai. At the end of the training process, after having served for 4 years in the army, you are set for life because you've been molded in the ways of the Indian Armed Forces.
Rahul, I sort of I agree with the fact that discipline is inculcated in soldiers, and I agree with the fact that they are patriotic and they are sort of have the welfare of the country at heart. That having been said, these are also people who require employment, people who require good jobs, and their expectations based on the salary that they've received for the previous 4 years is even higher than the normal person who's entering the job market. Now, if they enter the job market and they do not find a job, that is a problem. They are susceptible then to all kinds of emotions and all kinds of offers that might come their way. If they do find a job, that's wonderful. They'll do the job better than most. They'll be good patriotic employees. The problem is a lot of people today, and I'm talking about today now, not just the people who are joining the scheme, there's a problem of finding employment.